We have learned from the movies that committing the perfect crime is impossible. However, police usually has hard time to find criminals even though they use evidences from the crime scene and go through investigations. But there are cases where criminals are making the dumbest mistakes, like leaving other things like their footprints and DNA. I'm Nadeem, and in this episode I'm going to talk about dumbest 5 thieves in history. Number 5. Deaf robber can't hear alarm. In August 1995, Klaus Schmidt tried to rob a bank in Berlin by walking in with a pistol and demanding money. So far, this is a pretty standard for a bank heist. However, as the robbery progressed, the bank employees noticed that the criminal was acting rather strangely. At one point, one of them asked the robber if he needed a bag, and he replied, "You are right, it's a real gun." This made them realize that Schmidt had a noticeable handicap. He was deaf. Taking advantage, one employee set off the alarm. Schmidt remained oblivious even while the incredibly loud alarm was going off and the police approached the bank. The robber remained calm and patient, occasionally spouting threats. When the police arrived, they quickly took the criminal to custody. However, Schmidt found a way to turn a negative into a positive. He tried to sue the bank for exploiting his disability. Number 4. Robber gives cashier his phone number. In 2008, 18-year-old Ruben Zarate wanted to rob a muffler shop in Chicago. He entered the store armed with a gun and demanded money. But there was a problem. Most of the money was in the safe. Only the manager could open it, and the manager wasn't there. Ruben decided that he would try again later. To save himself some time, he left his cell phone number with the store employees. That way they could call him when the manager returned. First, however, the employees called Chicago police. Police arrived and instructed the employees to call the robber, and Zarate returned to find the officers waiting for him. They engaged in brief shootout, and in the end, Zarate went out of ammo and was arrested. Number 3. The getaway donkey. One of the most important aspects of a successful robbery is securing a good getaway vehicle. A fast car or maybe a motorcycle could make a good choice. You know what isn't a good choice? A donkey. That didn't stop a gang of thieves from Colombia. Their crime spree started when they abducted Chavi, a 10-year-old donkey from his owner. This happened 12 hours before the main robbery, so they had plenty of time to look for a car, or really anything but a donkey. But they decided to stick to the donkey plan. The actual heist went pretty well. The 3 criminals robbed a convenience store, stealing food and rum. Then they loaded their goods onto the donkey and prepared to make their escape. But Chavi decided not to cooperate. Up until this point, police were not even aware that the robbery had taken place. But Chavi started making too much noise that he attracted the attention of some nearby officers. The robbers fled on foot, leaving behind Chavi, along with, of course, all the stolen goods loaded onto him. Number 2. Robbers were on target by phone. On March 23, 2010, Albert Bailey and an unnamed juvenile accomplice decided to rob a bank in Fairfield, Connecticut. To streamline the procedure, Bailey called the bank in advance to let them know that they were coming to rob it. The intention here was to give the bank plenty of time to get the money ready so that the 2 of them could just walk in, take the cash and leave. Minutes after the phone call, Bailey sent his juvenile accomplice along with a note. I don't know why did he send the note, but according to my theory, maybe to eliminate any confusion, perhaps in case the bank was also waiting for a different robber. Meanwhile, the bank employee had taken the police on phone and updated them about everything that was happening. The robbers had demanded $100,000, but they settled for a lot less. $99,100 less, to be exact. Then they walked out into the arms of police, who arrested both of them immediately, without incident. They were charged with first-degree robbery and threatening of the first degree, and Bailey faced up to 9 years in prison. Number 1. Carjacker can't drive stick. On a sunny March day in Omaha, Nebraska, Melissa Peters was getting ready to take her son to school. She was heading for her car when she found a gun pointing at her face. courtesy of 17-year-old Mgana. He had a little interest with the mother or her child, who fled quickly. Instead, he simply entered the vehicle to steal it. But there was only one problem. The car had a manual transmission, something with which Mgana was unfamiliar. What followed was a scene straight out of Mr. Bean as Mgana turned on the lights and windshield wipers trying to make his escape. A neighbor called the police. It took them about 8 minutes to arrive and find an empty car sliding gently into the neighbor's yard, knocking over the fence. After several minutes of failing to move the car more than a few yards, Mgana had decided to make a run for it. Police officers went after him on foot. I don't know why, but probably out of the desire to make things fair, and had no problem catching up to him a few blocks away. At least he avoided a weapon charge, as the gun he used turned out to be fake. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to tell me in the comments which robber was the dumbest according to you. And if you like this video, don't forget to smash the thumbs up button, and see you guys in the next video. Peace.